Hi everyone, I'm Ziaul Munim. I'm professor of shipping and logistics at the University of Southeastern Norway. And in this video, I'm going to show you a speed optimization context in shipping, considering fuel price and revenue, freight rate. Okay. So we have a trade-off in general with the fuel cost saving and revenue loss depending on the speed of the vessel and the freight market, right? Depending on the bunker price and the freight market. So our main decision-making rule is that if our fuel cost saving from slowing down the speed of the vessel is greater than the revenue loss we are having due to slowing down, then we should slow steam. That's our main decision-making context. Okay. So we are going to demonstrate it with an example here. So we are considering a vessel 70,000 tons. We are saying days at sea per year is 300 days. We are considering a round voyage of 10,000 nautical miles. So you actually have to consider this as well, whether your voyage is going to, it's going to, yeah, it's a round voyage or not, if there will be backhaul or not, things like that you also have to consider. So we assume it's a round voyage, okay? And here we have some situations. So we have like speed, average speed. We consider baseline is 14, and we want to maybe reduce to 13 average speed per day, or 12 or 11, something like that. We have the fuel consumption for this speed, different varying speed for the vessel, which goes down significantly with slowing down the speed of the vessel. Now here we are putting some numbers. So we are considering two scenarios for bunker. One is 400 and one is 100. 100 is not really feasible, but for now, let's just put it. We'll update with real numbers later. And then again here, we have, the freight rates. So I just put 10 and 30 for now. So we just keep it as it is. We can update it later as well with real data. Okay. Now, the first thing here we are going to do is we are going to calculate the fuel cost for these different bunker prices. So let's say we do it here. We have the fuel consumption per day. We simply multiply this with this cell here. And we can fix it because when we drag, we want to keep it from the same cell. So in my keyboard, I press Fn plus F4. And then it gives this $2 symbol. In your PC, you might have to use a different function for fixing the cell. Okay, so figure that out before you start the exercise. So this is the value we get, and then we drag it down. Okay, so these are the values we are getting here. Perfect. Okay. Now we do the same thing for $100. Okay, so we have this one multiply with $100. Again, we fix the cell, drag it down. Yeah, so these are the numbers we are getting here, right? Perfect. Then we have to do it also for the revenue. So the thing is here, we had the fuel consumption per day. So it was actually very easy to calculate. Just multiplying with the price of the fuel, you would get per day. But here for revenue, actually, we have to bring it down to per day revenue. So the main kind of main equation that we are using, or main underlying formula we are following, is that how much revenue we are making from this whole trip. So we have the 70,000 cargo multiply with the price per ton. So we get the whole revenue, okay, divided by the number of days it takes us to make this trip, okay. So it's a bit slightly more tricky. So let's start with this function. So first, as I said, we will have the revenue. So we have the ton here. We fix the cell. We also multiply it with the price. We also fix this cell. Then we have to divide it with the number of days it takes to make the trip. So how do we calculate the number of days it takes to make the trip? We take the round voyage. We also have to fix this cell, and then we divide it by, I start with another bracket. So we have 24 hours in a day, and on average if we multiply with the speed, average speed, then we will get how much it can go in a day. If we multiply 24-hour with the speed of the vessel, then we can get how much it can go in a day. So then we will know how many days it takes to make the whole trip, right? So then our bracket close, enter, we get this value. This is going to be our revenue per day. at 14 knot speed, considering this rate. So we just drag it down. Oops, not from there. We drag it down from here. Then we get our value. Okay, we get the amount of revenue per day, considering $10 per ton. We are going to just do the same thing here. I have the cargo. I have to fix it. I multiply this with my per day freight rate. I fix it. I'm going to divide this. Again, I pick the cell with the round voyage. We divide this by 24 hour into the speed of the vessel. Okay. So here, the speed of the vessel, we are not going to fix it. Okay. Because we drag it, we want to move it with this. So enter. This is the amount we are getting here. And then we drag it down. So we have our bunker cost and we have our revenue per day for all these different speeds. Okay, considering these prices. So this is like a sensitivity analysis with varying prices. You know, if you can do a sensitivity analysis. So freight rate is now this. If it goes up, goes down, what will happen? And then you can put a nice figure and actually show it nicely. So here, our base case is 14, right? This is our base case. So basically, we are going to see the cost saving from the base case. So to do that, we take the base case fuel cost minus the other one. So here we have to fix the base case. So we have to fix the base case minus this one. Then we drag it down. Okay, it looks like this. Here we do the same. We take the base case, we fix it minus the next one. We drag it down. Here again, we take the base case minus, we have to fix the base case always, minus the next one. Drag it down. Here, we take the base case minus the next one, we drag it down. Okay, so this is how we get the fuel cost savings and revenue loss. Now, for our decision making, you know, whether to slow down or not, this is our decision making rule, as I said in the beginning. So if our fuel cost savings is greater than revenue loss, we slow steam, otherwise we don't. And we are calling this A1, A2, and B1, B2. So we compare A1 with B1, A1 with B2, then A2 with B1, A2 with B2. Okay, so first one here, A1, B2. So our scenario is actually this with this, right? This with this. Is our fuel cost saving higher than our revenue loss? Yes. So we slow. Okay. Let's look here. A1 with B1. Is our fuel cost saving higher than revenue loss? Yes. So we slow. This one with this one. A1 with B1 again. Should we slow? Yes. So if our bunker price is 400 and our rate per ton for transportation is $10, we should slow down, right? Similarly, A1, B2. So now we compare A1 with B2, right? So A1 with B2, should we slow? Not really, because fuel cost savings is lower than our bunker price. Fuel cost savings is lower than our revenue loss. So we should not slow. Okay, we can call it don't slow. Then we again have A1 with B2, don't slow. Then we have again A1 with B2, don't slow. Okay. Similarly, we can do A2 with B1. Now we have A2 with B1. Should we slow down? Actually, all of them are lower than this, right? So we don't slow. Okay. And how about here? All of them are way lower than this. So again, we don't have to slow, right? So yeah, so this is our decision-making framework. So this is how we can actually have this tool in Excel template, and we can use it in real settings. So what I mean by real settings, so for bunker price, for example, if we can actually go again to Clarkson, we can look into the bunker price. So if I go to bunker price series, if I go to VLFSO, and let's say I pick Singapore, for instance, $456 recently. So I go and update it here, 456. Here I could say that, we can do like 50% higher than whatever it is now. So if it goes up by 50%, if I multiply with 1.5, I have to use comma here, 1,5, because I have an Origin keyboard now. I forgot to do the multiplication symbol. So then you see, this is like a sensitivity analysis. This is for the real price. If it goes up, if you expect your bunker price to go up by this number, you put the number here, and then you can get an updated result, for the next weeks or months to come, right? As you can see here, bunker price is fluctuating from week to week, right? Similarly, we can put the real numbers for freight rate and see how the results look like. Again in Clarkson, now I came under earnings and freight, then I went under spot freight rates, then I went under bulkers, I went under Panamax bulker. So here you can see the different Panamax bulker routes. So we can pick any one of them, for example. So let's say I take something like, we could pick any one of them. So let's say I pick, this one. Let's say I pick this one. Okay. So here you see Hamburg to Jeddah. Here we have per ton price of last week is 30.4. So we could actually just update it here. Yeah, it's 30. So 30.4, this is our number. Maybe better is to update it here, 30,4. So we have it here. And then how much you expect it to go up or down in the upcoming days. So let's say you are expecting it to go down to 25. Then you can just update the numbers and you can see actually how the results change. Then you can also see if your decision making here is going to change or not. So this is how you see you can actually use this template to update with real information for if you're working in a shipping company, for particular routes that your company is working with, and you can update it every month or every week, depending on the freight rates and the bunker prices, and we can get an estimation. This can also help you, when you're making the agreements for trips, you can, if you have forecasted value of the freight rates and forecasted value of the bunker prices, you can actually negotiate better with the speed of the vessel and so on. So this is how we can actually make decisions considering freight rates and bunker price when we are thinking about the speed optimization in shipping. Great, I hope you find it useful. Good luck.